All right, what's up, everybody? How are you guys doing? We're doing a segment called What's God Teaching You? And we got some American Ninja Warriors here. Let's go. I love it. She's dabbing. Come on. And we got Grant here, and we've got Nick here, and we've got Maggie here, and we're talking about what's God teaching you. And go ahead, like, comment, and subscribe. Tell us below who else you'd like to see on this segment. We'd love to know. Tell us right now, what is God teaching you? And share a verse if you can.
Right on.
Who wants to go first? Nobody ever wants to go
Rock,
first.
paper, scissors, shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Tie.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Ooh.
All right.
That means Grants go first.
That rock, scissors, paper. Okay.
You know, I'll take it.
Go
I'll
ahead.
take it. You know, right now in my life, I think what God's really teaching me is to work through Him. So that's something that I've never really accepted. I was a worship leader when I was in high school, and I went to church every day. You know, every Sunday was ritual, and it started to become ritual, and I started to be like, I kind of resent this. And so in a moment of that, I lost God, and I was like, I don't want to be a part of this. And then through Ninja Warrior, life changed big time for me, and I met this guy over here. We were rookies together, and we were standing in line, and we were just both psyched that we got a little card that said, hey, you're going to be on the show.
Wow.
And we were just like hyped, like we were just so. And then before our run, obviously there were some nerves, and we're both nervous, but Grant comes up to me, of all people, and he goes, Can we just pray before our run? Can we just pray about this?
I was nervous, all right? I was asking him if he needed prayer, but I was really thinking I needed prayer, and I was like, let's do this.
And mind you, I'm like, I'm not big into God in my head. And then in that moment, I was like, yeah, let's do it.
Wow.
And so I prayed with Grant. And in this moment of prayer with Grant before I run, Grant's praying. And if you ever get an opportunity to pray with this man, do it. It's real.
Just get ready to cry a little bit. Get ready to cry a little bit. That's all that is.
I like it.
A little bit.
Like a lot of it.
A lot of it.
We're praying, and I'm like, this is amazing. I feel great. And I went up on stage, and I'm running my run. I'm like 14th to go of the night, which sucks. It's terrible to be early in the night. And I go for it, and I'm enjoying every moment of it. And I felt like I was just like, had this whole new lift of life, and that God was just like in me. And afterwards, I was like, I need to know more about this man.
Come on.
And I'm not only Grant, but also who God is.
Amen.
And through that, since then, I have just wanted to grow more in Him, read the Bible. I downloaded the app so that it was like a forceful reminder, because notification, verse of the day. I'm like, okay, verse of the day. Everybody else is reading this, or millions of people reading this. But I'm going to open that book up and read that in this moment. Like, I just got the verse vibration in my pocket as we're sitting here. I'm like, I got to go read. You guys,
I love it.
And now I want to teach more. I want to spread that joy and spread that love that I've felt through I've, in the ninja community. And we shared a ninja church one time, and God called me to share a message at a ninja event that we had. And I feel like that's what He's teaching me. He's teaching me how to teach about Him and to share more about Him.
That's awesome. What about you, Maggie?
I think for me, right now, even specifically, like in the last couple days, one of my friends challenged me for my birthday and got me a book, Killing Kryptonite. And as we sit and talk, sometimes, not just about each other and friends and events, we talk about like our brands. And, that relates back to our name. And I felt challenged, like, as we try to grow in the platform that we have, am I putting out there my name or God's name?
Amen.
And I feel so challenged, like, whose brand is it? Ultimately, like, God owns who I am. And so what am I putting out there? Am I being vulnerable and real? And, what sacrifices am I willing to make in His name? Because it's awesome to have these opportunities, but ultimately, like, I want to grow His kingdom and nothing that's my own. And so I specifically, like, within the last 48 hours, feel very challenged as I think and pray about the future and where, I would like to head, but what does He want? And so I have to put aside myself and really say, what does God want?
Thanks for being vulnerable. Thanks for being vulnerable enough to share that. And I'm thinking about the people who are watching, because they're thinking, well, man, if I had X amount of followers, I would feel blank. But the truth is the thing that satisfies you is getting followers for the Lord. Isn't that wonderful? Thank you for sharing that. How about you, Grant?
Oh, man. Hey, not get emotional. Everyone knows. They know.
Let me sit back for this, bro. I'm with you.
I get to talking about the things that God's doing, and I usually get pretty emotional. I love it. Trying to think of what really is happening recently. There's a lot of verses that go with it, but I'll just kind of bounce around with them. Most of them being rooted in seeking you'll find, or asking you shall receive. The things that God calls us to ask, you know. And I always used to think that's like, oh, I want this new thing. Okay, can I have this? But like recently, it's been asking why. Well, why did you make me feel this way? Or why did this happen that way? Or why did my family pass away earlier? Why? Because if you said Romans 8:28 is true, that you work all things for the good, then what is good in me losing people I love?
Wow.
I need that answer because I want to know, and I know you love me, and I trust that, but I need you to teach me something in this. And so starting there, but getting into like really recently, which is cool with Maggie, just last week we did an event together in Nebraska State Games, which was awesome, such a good time.
Thanks.
But while I was there, before I got to that city, God was showing me what it's like to be a parent. And as a parent, you do a lot. Like you pour into your kids. You pour in, but you don't always get back. Like it's a constant pouring in, and it's a lot of work, and you got to be the nice guy sometimes when you're loving and doing these, but then you also got to be stern and say that's wrong. So and playing those roles, when my brother has lost his mom and his dad, and so I sometimes step into that role, and seeing into that, I felt like how challenging that is. And I go, why am I feeling this way, God? Why? And it was to encourage Maggie on what it's like for her to be a mother of 3 kids, and to do that as a single mom. It's very challenging. And I just wanted to, when I came to her city, I was just overwhelmed with the feeling of explaining to her that it is hard and it is tough, but you do it well, and that you are awesome at it, and that you were made to handle this. Like, and God gave me that just so that I could tell her about that, encourage her in that, and just say that I understand it's tough. And so what is God teaching me is why would he give me this? Why do I feel this way?
Wow.
And for that one, it was to encourage Maggie in who she is, how he made her, and how strong she is. Like, she literally does so much apart from anything anyone else is gonna see, where she is just loving on her family really well.
She's great.
It is good. I'm telling you, it is good. And those are the things that I get to step into because God gave me that information, that knowledge, and he gave it to encourage. And it could be anything. It could be because he wants you to teach something. It's because he wants you to know something. It's because he wants you to learn. There's verses that talk about the wisdom, and when you ask for it, he'll give it to you. So just ask him why, or ask him what for. So that's what I'm in, and it's just every day something new.
That's strong.
So.
Man. That is strong. Wow.
It's been cool, but
Praise God. You made your friend cry. But
yeah,
well done.
dude, I was just, so one of us was going to start, and I was like, if she starts, then I can kind of hold it together maybe, but.
Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you guys for joining us. And we want to know in the comments, tell us what God's teaching you. We're going to pin the comment to the top for somebody that comments, what's God teaching you. Thank you guys for watching.
And the last comment, does your hat and socks match?
Comment
if they match. I need
Is that-
to know.
Yeah.
Is this
That's-
coordinated? I think
Let's
they
see.
do.
What do we think?
Do those match?
Let us know in the comments.
Yes, that matches.